and welcome to the CAS Clarity in 5. Thanks for joining us. This is a series that spotlights people doing kick-ass stuff in the accounting industry. So before we jump into the questions, could you give us a brief overview of what your firm's makeup is from team size, services, and revenue range, if you care to share?
Yeah, happy to. Thanks for having me. I'm Roman Villard, founder of Full Send. We are predominantly a CAS practice in Boulder, Colorado, offering outsourced accounting, fractional CFO, and data services as well. So data encompassing like operations and automation type services for SMBs in the $1 to $10 million range. We have a team size of about 16 folks, 14 of which are on the accounting side and 2 on the data side. Revenue range, pretty consistent of those firms that have about 16 people. So I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Since this series is powered by FinDaily, a tool built to automate financial digest of your numbers, how often do you check your firm's numbers?
Oof. I'm looking at transactions on a daily basis. I'm looking at numbers on probably a weekly basis. We have a pretty consistent billing cycle where we bill on the first of every month. And so there isn't a ton of movement outside of that. But I'm in QuickBooks and looking at numbers very frequently.
Awesome. All right, now into the questions. So, what's the
Yes.
overarching goal or mission that's driving your firm?
Our mission is to elevate outcomes for our team, our clients, and our community. And it's a very broad mission statement, but we want to be able to say in every task that we do, in every action that we take, that we are in some form or fashion elevating the outcome of another team member, helping them learn, grow, develop, get past a problem, do the same thing for our clients, and or supporting nonprofits or people or our network to help our community move forward. So that's kind of our overarching mission.
That's awesome. So, what is the tech tool that currently is saving you the most time?
The tech tool that's saving the most time for me right now has got to be Make. Make is similar to Zapier. It's an automation tool that we use to take a lot of our work and turn it into an automated process that we then layer on top of. And so that's probably the number one thing that I'm seeing today is as a time saver.
Awesome. What's your favorite KPI, either internally or externally, and why?
Oof. I think my favorite KPI, let's go external first. My favorite KPI externally for our clients is cash conversion cycle. So understanding how quickly a client can deploy cash, particularly in inventory-based businesses, deploy cash for inventory, and then turn that into sales revenue, cash collected on the back end. It's a tremendously important figure for businesses to be tracking and for us to be measuring and communicating to clients. Internally, my favorite KPI is probably our team NPS survey. So getting feedback from the team and seeing how we can serve them better, how we can elevate their outcomes, how we can create a better environment for them internally at Full Send.
I know people will ask, what are you using to track that NPS?
Google surveys, Google Forms. It's pretty simple.
Simple.
We have a small team, so it's a very simple, brief survey that allows for opportunity for expanding conversation post survey if somebody has something they want to speak about. But we are very intentional about trying to gather that feedback on a regular basis from the team and not just stick to a survey for it. But I do love seeing that data.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, you usually hear NPS used towards clients, but not internally. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you're stuck on a client decision, growth challenge, or just a rough day, how do you get unstuck?
How do I get unstuck? It's changed a little bit actually in the last 3 or 4 months. I get unstuck by getting outside and going for a run. I've found that the more disconnected my physical and mental kind of states are, the more difficult it is for me to make progress. And so if I'm in a good rhythm, moving my body, getting sunlight, pushing myself there, it helps me to unclutter the mind of things that I'm trying to solve in the business. And so whether it's going for a long run and just thinking through a problem or sitting in a sauna and just sweating it out, that's how I tend to work through those types of things in my mind to get unstuck with the business. So counterintuitive, but it helps me a lot.
Nice. What's the one thing you wish you did in your firm sooner?
I think one of the things that I would have done sooner is committing to a tech stack. And what I mean by that is like we bounced around a lot of workflow management tools early on because I thought for one reason or another they were the tools to get us to the next place. Um, but I just didn't commit to them in the sense of how can we scale alongside of these. I was kind of like one toe in, one toe out, getting tech FOMO and just bouncing around a little bit too much. And so I wish I would have um, had a bit more intentionality early on when selecting tech partners.
Yeah. Yeah, the shiny object syndrome is tough, especially with how much tech we have available to us today.
It's a problem.
Yeah. So this is your turn to kind of share either something you want to expand on, another tip, or is there something you're working on that you think would be valuable to the accounting community?
Yeah, one of the things that just in the last few days, I've just spent a lot more time in conversation with other accountants about is something that I've been hammering into the team all year this year, and that's the concept of materiality, the concept of judgment, and the concept of not having to get to the second decimal point in a reconciliation to make sure it's completely perfect. I think accountants by nature love precision, love having that reconciliation zero out at the bottom. But in reality, like that's not really driving value back to the client. Like if you get to a point where you are materially or directionally accurate, that's what the client wants. So if you can be 90, 95% correct and deliver the financials earlier, that often provides more value than being 100% and then delivering them later than expected. And so, like, this is just a concept that I just see accountants pursue that doesn't yield value. And especially if you're in an hourly billing environment and the client's getting billed for that time, like, they don't want to pay for you reconciling that extra 6 cents. And so, like, that's a concept that I think is really valuable to understand that I've been thinking about a lot. I've been teaching the team a lot about, and something I think broader accountants need to think more about.
100% agree. Our profession is kind of built on perfectionism, and yeah, that can go too far at times. So thanks for joining me. Last thing before we go, where's the best place to follow you on your journey?
I would certainly say LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Roman Villard, CPA, is the best spot to find me. We're at thefullsend.com as a company. We got a pretty cool newsletter too called No Half Sends that you can find on our website. But it's kind of hard to avoid me sometimes these days on LinkedIn.
You're good at it. So I appreciate the time, Roman. Thanks.
Yes, sir.